Excuse my language, but the BS about old money online now is crazy. This video is addressing this topic, and don't get me wrong, I'm not stating that I'm better than anybody. Actually, 5 years ago, before this became viral, today I talked about how to look expensive. And if you may remember, I didn't look expensive myself, and the whole purpose of that video back then was to share with you my journey, bringing back the aura of looking more luxurious, because that was something I wasn't so confident at doing. Let me get into this video. What I think is the right old money and the wrong old money. And don't get me wrong, nothing is right and wrong inevitably. There is always grays, and how you look is something that is within a gray zone, big one. Because even within the communities of old money and people who have a lot of money, there is a lot of in-betweens in style, in ethics, and so many things. However, if you think owning a tweed set in pink color will make you look old money, let me clarify. This is the preppy look. Preppy look sometimes can look too curated, too much. Also, the fake pearls. Oh my God, like, just don't get me started at this. It doesn't look expensive and it doesn't look luxurious. And I know someone out there will just comment, but why would I want to look expensive? I don't know. By the way, I am against, by all means, being a gold digger. This is not something I actually advocate. And if you think you follow me to become one, then just please unfollow me, because I married my husband for both of us to start from the ground up in a new country. And if I wanted someone to pay for myself all the time, I don't think that would have been the mindset to enter a relationship at all. So if that's your mindset, you do you, but that's not what I'm teaching here. However, like me, you can be traveling somewhere, starting your social network from scratch, wanting like-minded people in a new city, wanting to open a business and that's your target audience, wanting to mingle with like-minded people, have friends that motivate you to reach there, or even have a spouse that think like you, but not to, I don't know, hunt down people to get advantage of their money. That's not it. Those are all disclaimers, and yeah, just don't get me wrong. I'm kind of emotional about that topic, and I want you to start the new year with the right mindset. That's like my message behind this. Anyways, so what is old money? To begin with, people with money do not like to prove that they have money. Here in Germany in particular, if you live in Germany, you would know that people with money somehow think about ways to run away from taxes because they think taxes rob them out of money. That's why most of the rich donate. Don't get me wrong, donations are a great thing to do. However, they do it in order to gain more credibility with the taxes and to actually, if you pay a certain amount of charity, you're not taxable. It's like a whole game, and that's the thing. It's a game of Monopoly. You have to think about it that way. So people who are rich, they will never travel with their most expensive Louis Vuitton luggage bag. And I know I'm a person who travels with a Louis Vuitton cabin bag. Great. But it taught me something. People will stop you here for taxes. In the Gulf, that doesn't happen. And in the Middle East, that doesn't happen as frequently, because if you have power, you have connections, and connections actually kind of makes you pass the tax and customs area, which I used to privilege from all of my life back home. However, here in Germany, nobody's above tax. So when you pass with a Louis Vuitton bag, they stop you and they check every single thing because they want to get money from you, because guess what? They think you're rich and they want to get money. So that's the thing. The rich here are so discreet. That's why discreet luxury is old money. Discreet luxury, what does that mean? Things that are of high class, high value, but only the rich know that is expensive. Nobody from the rich wants to dress to impress someone, because you don't need to impress anybody. Most of them grow up in circles that are well connected, especially old money. A good reference of understanding old money is watching the Great Gatsby movie. Mr. Gatsby was new money, and don't get me wrong, he's one of my absolute favorite characters from classic books also. But at the same time, the difference between him and the guy that was already an old money guy was this. He wasn't trying to impress anybody throughout the movie. He had expensive cars, of course. He had expensive things, of course. However, he wasn't trying to impress people or appear nice to them or showcase his wealth to them or dressing up extra to prove, hey, I understand you. In fact, there is a video on TikTok I saw a couple of days ago. I will link it down below and I will show a screenshot of it. This lady comes from wealth, but she does not look like, I don't know, someone who owns luxury fashion items. When you look at her, she looks normal. She looks put together, don't get me wrong, but she doesn't look like she comes from money. However, who are good examples of old money? A good example of old money is the royal family, the British royal family. Royals in general are coming from generational wealth. They are one of the greatest example of old money. What differentiates old money from new money mainly is understanding ethics and following etiquette and rules. So if you really want to become this first generation of old money in your family, or to become your first family millionaire, which is a very great goal, you need to look at manners and etiquette. You need to follow etiquette in the dress code. You need to follow etiquette in the eating. You need to follow etiquette even in self-care. Certain things that you notice, if you go overdressed somewhere, you're not old money. Old money really know and study what they're going to wear somewhere. Old money also study people that they're going to meet. What does that mean? There is a very popular actor in my country who was coming from old money. He was a military guy that came from a very wealthy family before joining the military and then turned into acting. And when they talked about him after he passed away, they were saying that he was always looking into the people that he's meeting in galas. If a French actress that is not very well known is coming to Egypt for a movie awards or something, he would look her up, study her movies in order to make conversation with her. That's old money attitude. You always have to look into things before attending them. What's the dress code? You look into things before buying them because you care about money. There was an article about a Reddit group of people who can't afford buying luxury bags who actually choose to buy fake replicas. And they had this it was called Rep Ladies, a Reddit group where they talk about the best replicas and how to get them into the country. So this sounds maybe infuriating because when you think about it, oh my God, I'm putting all that money in something expensive. But even people who can't afford that fake it. It sometimes happens because for them, again, people coming from generational wealth do not waste money. They pay things very, very smartly and very, very cautiously. They don't do it just haphazardly because they want to. For example, when I watched Dubai Bling on Netflix, I noticed this. Dubai is so full of millionaires, but all of them are self-made and all of them is such a generalization, but most of them have this attitude of new money because in Dubai, in order to prove that you're wealthy, you have to look the part. But that's the thing, that's very far from the European old money sense. So also old money depends on the country you come from and the country you live in. So my suggestion, if you want to become old money and you want to integrate with wealthy people, don't make the mistake of following wealth tips from people who live in the US or people who live in India or people who live in the Middle East, because everyone will have a perspective. A perspective I'm coming from is a mix between North African, Middle Eastern, and European living now in Europe. So this will be my perspective on it. However, again, take this with a pinch of salt as an advice from me. Of course, I would love to have a civil conversation with all of you about what you think about the trend of old money coming everywhere, and people who don't even have money talking about it, giving tips and actually being old money police. I had one girl on my videos telling me to watch Anna Bay's video and follow her tips, and it was funny because I started on YouTube at that same time, and don't get me wrong, I love Anna's videos. I follow her. I'm part of her course. I partake her course because I really value her content. But for someone random to come at me and tell me to do something because I don't look this and that, this bullying is just funny, because I open the person's page and I see that they're just there to spit on hate, and it doesn't bring anything to the others. Anyways, so please, the advice I will give you: do not follow every video you watch about old money thinking that this will make you look expensive, because looking expensive is focusing on quality over quantity, is focusing on materials, is focusing on etiquette and how you carry yourself. It's focusing on mainly the overall etiquette of the place you're going to and the people you talk to and the way you speak. And this year I'm going to start by giving you the best advice I know, read about, learned within my family, also learned from people that I met here in Europe about old money. But next will come a video I talk about old money dupes. I hope that actually benefits you. And another video that is coming up also next is one about people to follow if you want to follow the style of old money. And another one would be where to meet actually wealthy people who come from old money if you want to integrate with them in society. I hope you enjoyed that video, this start of the year with the mindset, which is important, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.